Finally, welcome to the Tingling Tea. Here at the Tingling Tea, we talk about the strange and the supernatural, the scary, the creepy and the cryptid, the weird and the wonderful, and all that is phenomenally creepy. I can't even talk. That was a fiasco. We were having some technical difficulties with the sound, and sometimes that happens when you're transferring data over to another piece of software. So thank you all for hanging out with us and being patient. We have a really great show this evening. But before I go any further, let me bring in my co-host, the one, the only, Auggie, ominous Eddie Peterson. Hello.
Hello. How are you? Look, I'm sorry for the delay. I had some enchiladas for dinner. It did not sit well. Everybody had to wait. It was for the best. It was for the best for everybody involved. Let me tell you.
Listen, it's been.
I could not commit to 45 minutes of straight anything. And so we had to take care of some biological needs.
Okay, well, I'm glad you're taking the blame for that. So I appreciate you so much.
It is my pleasure.
Yes.
Notice that I have my Pride cup out. Very nice.
Nice.
Love is love.
Love is love. I love that. I love that. So before we go any further, and start talking about what we need to talk in, we have to bring in our guest host this evening. So Mike is not with us this evening. He's at a wedding. I just went in and got like the next best thing.
Well, it's really the best thing. Come on. It's the best thing.
There's a lot of bests.
It's the person we could never, ever book before. And finally, he has made himself available for us. We're shocked.
We're shocked. Yes. And I swear I just saw him on Monday. But you all, please let me bring in my co-host from Apple Bites, the Bitten Apple TV's Apple Bites, Mr. Rafael Tavares, known as the WRIT RALF.
So you're telling me it wasn't my evil mechanisms that caused this whole blurb in the system?
I don't think so.
You can blame it on me. You can blame it on me.
If that's the case,
I should have gotten the mild. I didn't. I got the spicy. This never happens.
Ralph, I'm gonna start blaming you for all my technical difficulties.
There you go.
even the ones we have on the Bitten Apple TV. So yes, I said this is Bitten Apple TV. CRYPTID Productions is a production company that Eddie and I started with Annabelle, but I also, way before this even happened, was running around with this cookie crew called the Bitten Apple TV. And it's a long story of how we got started, but we've been friends for how long? It's been a long, long time, right?
Wow, yeah, it's been about 6 years at least.
Yeah.
6 or 7 years, yeah.
6 or 7 years. Mm-hmm. This all started, the Bitten Apple TV actually started, we were all at the TikTok Diner in Manhattan, all, starving artists sitting there thinking about how can we do content that kind of aligns with what we love to do, which is comics and horror and all that other kind of stuff. And how can we give people the experience of going to a con when they can't afford to go to a con? Because we'd all been in that situation before.
Definitely.
And here we are now. We get invited to a lot of cons. We interview a lot of artists. Some of these artists are going to probably be on the Tingling Tea, especially if they're from the horror genre.
They will be.
Yeah, they will be on.
We're booking them right now.
We're booking these people. But we have been through a lot of crazy kooky things together. And let me just bring this up real quick because we're going to talk about some of the things that, one in particular, that we went to Comic-Con last Saturday, right?
Yep.
But before we go into that, Mr. the WRIT RALF, kind of let the audience know who you are, what you do. This is us hosting Apple Bites. Tell us a little bit about who you are in reference to the Bitten Apple TV.
Well, I am WRIT RALF. I have a writing show where I take a journey with you to become better writers. Because a while back, I was sitting there after reading all these books behind me on how to write. And I said, wait a minute, there's a process missing. There's a step missing. The books tell you how to write, but there's some step that we're missing on getting to the next level of writing. And I was like, okay, so if I can't figure this out completely, there's probably people out there that can't figure it out as well. So I decided, let me do a show where we're pushing each other forward to become better writers.
And he's at
the WRIT came to be.
And he definitely can do voiceovers as well, you all. Get the man a job.
You're going to do our voiceover for Tingling Tea, definitely.
You have
Well,
just joined the Tingling Tea.
I love that.
Don't be scared.
I love that. I've been trying to work on an intro for Ralph for his show. We can never just hook. We can hook up for our Bit Now.
Everything else, yeah.
Yeah, we can hook up for everything else, but we can't hook up for me to sit down and try to figure out what he wants for his opening. We will get to that at some point. I just kind of want to get his perspective on it so we can give it exactly his flavor, But yeah, we've been working together for a really, really long time. So I just thought this was the best choice to come in and help us with our segment. And Ralph is actually going to be with us on the 28th of October. He's going to be hosting while Augie's away. So I'm really, really excited. With that being said, y'all, we got to tell you, we're moving to 7:30.
We're old, y'all. We can't do this 8 o'clock thing. We're old. We need to go to bed.
Absolutely. We do. So yes, we are moving to 7:30 on Thursdays. And here's another move. We are moving to Tuesdays in January. So it's going to be Tuesday nights at 7:30.
So much freaking change. How
a lot of change.
Figure it out.
I had to. I needed. And we actually did a move for the Apple Bites as well, because Saturday was just killing me. Putting content together and everything, it was just killing me. I was like, I can't.
You need time for yourself. Like, if there's anything the pandemic has taught us, it's that we need to really prioritize taking care of ourselves.
Yes, definitely. So I'm like missing out on all my exercise classes, all the things that I normally do, during the week. And I just got to get back to it. I know I've gained at least about 40 pounds. So, these are things that I need to fit this back into my schedule so that I can have a life and feel a little bit better and more comfortable. So I'm really, really excited. So you all, please follow us. Our next show next Thursday, it's going to be at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we hope to see you there at the 7:30 hour. And let's move a little bit.
Or if we have problems, it'll be 8 o'clock again.
I'm just going to take a little sip on that. That's right. We could just say, look, it ain't like we ain't been here at 8 o'clock before, y'all.
But we intended for it to be 7:30.
Yeah, we intended it for because stuff happens when you go live. I tell you, every time I learn something new about going live.
That's the beauty of live, man. It's the beauty of live. And we see it all the time. I was just telling Auggie in the green room that it's fun to do live from the house because things happen. Daughter shows up, says hi. Leslie's seen it many times.
Cats jump in your lap.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff like that. Yeah.
That is one thing I'm surprised of is my cat hasn't decided to be here.
All kinds of stuff happens. And it's the beauty of being live. I mean, we've seen it. We've been seeing it on the news, people capturing it, kids walking in the middle of a news session. That's it, but as long as people want to hang out and hear what it is that you have to offer, I think that's the best. Your fans are going to stick with you regardless.
I agree. What you see is what you get.
Exactly.
This is who I am. Love me or leave me.
Yeah, exactly.
But like me, hit the like button.
Yeah. And you see that right now. It's saying like, subscribe, follow us on CRYPTID Productions on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. You all make sure that you do that so that you know when our content is coming up. And we're going to have a lot of things that we're going to be offering in our channel and at CRYPTID Productions in the future. So, absolutely tune into our content going forward. So let's talk about New York Comic-Con. So yes, Ralph and I were there. We didn't do very much interviewing like we normally do for Comic-Con. And of course, you all know those reasons.
COVID related?
COVID. Yeah, COVID. COVID had an effect on Comic-Con overall.
Huge.
A huge one. Normally, that place is extremely packed. You can't even move during New York Comic-Con. But it was spaced out. I mean, they still had all floors, all levels of the Javits Center. So, you got to walk around and stuff. It was a lot of stuff to see. But the one good thing I think that was important about that thinned out crowd is that you were able to go and get what you wanted without having to stand in a long line. You could actually speak to the artist or the creator of some of the content that you love. I, for one, spent a lot of money this year. Probably more than I've ever spent at Comic-Con. I'm not even going to tell you how much I spent.
And I bought a lot almost more.
Yeah. I bought a lot of horror books, you all. I bought a lot of
Ooh.
stuff that I'm gonna talk to you all about once I read it. Especially when we get one of those guests to come on our show, and I'll tell them what I think about their content and we can discuss it. But yes, I purchased a lot.
You can
And
purchase the books. I'll purchase the alcohol and judge the alcohol.
the
For
alcohol.
people like the Crystal Lake wines, that is something we are definitely purchasing.
Yes. We are big fans of Friday the 13th and Crystal Lake. Crystal Lake has actually reached out to us several times to come and actually do a sleepover at Crystal Lake. They have a Friday the 13th sleepover where you actually sleep in the cabins and all that good stuff. And, maybe even Jason appears. So we don't know.
And you have Adriana King, who is the first final girl.
Mm-hmm.
She's often there.
Yep.
This year they had Ari. I forget Ari's last name. They had Ari, the kid that played young Jason that popped out of the canoe. They had him this year.
Who did they have this year? I missed that.
They had Ari. I forget Ari's last name. That played Jason in the first.
Yeah.
One. He popped out and he dragged her under.
Yep.
In the final scare.
What we're really waiting for is Kevin Bacon. So
we need some bacon.
Yeah, we definitely need some bacon.
Everybody needs some bacon.
Yeah, everybody needs some bacon. Who doesn't like him? So anyway, last week we were talking about what costume I was going to be wearing for Comic-Con this year. And everybody, we were asking our audience members to try to decide who I was going to be. And I got all kinds of things. I got Storm. I got Purple Hulk, She-Hulk. I got all kinds of stuff. I really did.
Hello.
Hey. But
welcome.
You all, I can't believe no one really figured it out. And there was only a few people at Comic-Con that recognized who I was. And these are people who are hardcore comic readers who love this particular genre and this particular person and this particular storyline. So you all, I wanted to let you know that I went as Agatha Harkness. Now, who is Agatha Harkness? Now, this is the thing. Agatha Harkness in the MCU universe, which is what we're watching, the series on TV and stuff like that, she went through a transformation. She actually, this is how they transformed her. And it was a good transformation. I would say a good realization of her, a stylization.
Before or after?
So this is Agatha when she finally, and spoiler people, if you haven't watched WandaVision, this is Agatha when she finally appears.
Shows herself off,
shows herself,
nice.
I don't know, you might be living under a rock if you don't know what the ending of this is.
I got through like one episode of WandaVision.
Well, it's really good, by the way. So this is the actress that portrayed her, and her name is, I forgot what her name is, but she's an amazing actress.
She's really good. We're gonna look her up right now.
Yes, please do help me on this, because even though I get the content together, I don't get names. I loved her in this. I absolutely loved her in this. She had the right kind of moxie to play this role.
Catherine Hahn.
Catherine Hahn was amazing in this. Now, what we see is Catherine Hahn, but what we see to the right of her is actually what Agatha Harkness looks like in the comic books. And that's how I went as Agatha Harkness from the comic books. Now, most of this young generation didn't know.
Did you have the white hair? Did you have the big white hair?
No, I didn't need the big white hair because I already got gray hair. So I didn't need it. I didn't need it. Now, Bob Sally, who wrote who's with Source Point Press and some other things, he actually recognized who I was. And by the way, sorry, Bob, I was calling you John in our episode of the Tingling of the Bitten Apple all last week, and I have to apologize that I called you John because
you're a quality show, John.
Yeah.
But, what's your name? Bob? John?
It's Bob Sally. It's Bob Sally.
We apologize.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that I was calling him that because all day, all I was listening to was basketball on ESPN talking about Kyrie Irving not coming to play. So that was what my mindset was John Sally. So I kept calling him John Sally. I guess it's an easy mistake to make, because Sally is That's kind of, an interesting name. So anyway, Broken Gargoyles is what he wrote. And we're going to actually look at some of his content at some point because he writes sci-fi type of stuff, which is stuff that we really love. But anyway, he recognized me immediately. He did. And I did a side-by-side right here so you all can actually see how that looks.
Nice.
She's pretty close.
Yep, I'm pretty close. And I, it was a simple costume. It was a very simple costume, but I have to tell you all, it was one of the best costumes I've ever pulled off. And one of the best I've purchased. And I'm definitely going to probably utilize it again. But the thing that got the most attention while I was walking around is my cat.
Everybody wanted that cat. Everybody wanted to see the cat. Everybody thought the cat was real.
They thought the cat was real.
It looks real.
Yeah, people actually were shocked. They were like, and then they were like, "Oh my gosh, that cat!" People actually stopped me to take a picture of the cat. They were like,
"Funny."
Yeah, they were like, "I don't know who you are. You look great, but your cat is amazing." So Agatha Harkness has a cat by the name of Ebony, and so that was my Ebony that I purchased, and I absolutely love this cat. This cat is so real that cat scared my other cats at home.
Nice.
They ran from it. They were like, "What the heck is this? You brought another baby in here?" No. But anyway, Ralph actually captured me. So we did 2 videos. Ralph actually captured me at Comic-Con with my outfit on, doing my thing that I do, which is running around and being like a kid. I'm going to pull up his stream. And let's bring that video up close and I'll bring it to the forefront.
Here we go. And there goes
everything. All right, who's been pulling every evil string? Who's been messing up everything?
I enjoyed that video.
Yeah. So I really did have a lot of fun being that mischievous character. And I even created one for myself. So when I got home, normally when you go to Comic-Con, there's somebody there that's actually taking photos of all the people in cosplay. Mm-hmm. We didn't really get to find that person. I would have loved to have actually taken my first cosplay photos for Comic-Con because the outfit was so good and so detailed. I even mixed the old Agatha with the new Agatha. And the thing that I brought in that was new was that the new Agatha wears a brooch that has 3 muses on it or 3 sisters on it. And so I wore the jewelry with like a cameo and earrings and stuff like that. I mean, I went into full detail about it. So anyway, let me just show you all my rendition. I got home and I have my little backdrop up here and I was like, listen, I'm gonna play this to the hilt. I'm gonna take as many pictures as possible with this, and I'm gonna tag Reed Pop into it because, of course, I didn't get to. So I kept my Reed Pop ban on, which is what identified you that if you had your COVID test that day, that's how you gained access. So let me just see. Hey, Angel.
What's up, Angel?
Yeah. So let me just bring up my video. Hold on one second.
Please start video soon. Hello.
Here we go. I'm going to show it right now. Can you all see that?
Yep.
Okay, here we go.
There we go.
So I loved it. I actually had to do that. I was so excited about that little video. I was down here laughing so hard. I was so tickled. Sean was like, "What are you down there giggling about?" Giggling. Yes, taking the pictures. I even had like my little spell book. you know, everything. I forgot to bring Ebony into the picture, but I figured Ebony had taken enough pictures for the day, so I just wanted to do my own little photo shoot. But yeah, it was in my opinion, it was a big hit. The only people that really noticed me were people that were playing Wanda or Scarlet Witch. They knew me immediately. They're like, they knew.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a testament to when people actually do research about who they're going to dress up at Comic-Con. They actually know the story. They bring props that that kind of bring it more to life for people that are watching it or looking at their cosplay. So yeah, it was,
well,
it was a lot of fun.
That sounds so amazing.
It was
you
a lot of fun.
Incredible. How did those eye contacts feel at the end of the day?
You know, the contacts weren't really that bad. I think the thing that was probably the most
Oh my God, Angel.
Angel. Listen, Angel, congratulations. Angel did a cover for his comic called Food. Is it Food
Stamps?
Food Stamps. FU Stamps. And I know you can actually give me the background on it, but it's sold out at Comic-Con, which is huge. The cover sold out. Thank you, Food Stamps. Yes, I was going to say food something, but yes, it was awesome. Awesome.
Congratulations, Angel.
Yes, he did a great job. And so he wasn't there to get all the glory. He was away.
Yeah.
So that's why
he was the Invisible Man.
That's
yes,
why he's
exactly.
Yeah. And it's Rio Palante's book.
Mm-hmm.
He did the cover.
Yeah, that book is amazing. It has a beautiful 70s feel to it. You know, these kids are hanging out this bodega, and the bodega guy becomes their kung fu teacher. You know, it's classic 70s, man.
Classic 70s, classic, Latino,
Mm-hmm.
bodega, and all that other kind of stuff. I mean, it's just a send off to the community, and it was really good. But so thank you, Angel and Rios Palantes. That was like a really awesome cover, and maybe we'll show it here too. I wanted to have Angel on the show, but he's always Invisible Man. So
oh, come on, Angel. Come on.
He always comments on our show.
Why are you playing us like that, Angel? Come on.
Yeah. So he's actually. Oh, he's doing Tragedy.
He's doing issue 2. Yeah. He's doing one of the variants. Yep.
Get out.
You gotta see it. It looks amazing.
Yeah. Oh my God. I can't wait. That's another cover that's really gorgeous. I really would love to show you all what kind of books that I got this while I was there, what kind of content we received and what we purchased at Comic-Con. But actually go and look at the Bitten Apple TV's Monday episode on Bitten Apple TV on Facebook and YouTube, and you'll see actually everything that I purchased. So we have a lot to get through this evening, so let's move on, you all. So tomorrow is the end of Hispanic, let me just put this up, Hispanic Heritage Month. We're highlighting films that are of that ilk, people of Hispanic heritage, and movies, horror films with Hispanic themes or Hispanic characters. Now let me bring directors. All of a sudden, I just cannot find it anywhere. That's crazy.
This is the movie part.
Yeah, this is our movie part. It's you. It's up to you. Okay. So
all right, we found
there we go.
Yes, yes. So here we go. So tomorrow is the end of National Hispanic Heritage Month. The strangest holiday to me, Awareness Month, because it begins September the 15th and ends October the 15th. Who does that? But I don't know. You don't have a whole month that begins at the beginning of the month. You just have
it's like they had to squeeze you in or something. What?
Yeah. I don't understand why it's like really short. It's a throw 'em a bone. That's exactly what it is like. Okay,
that's how it feels. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to get political here, but okay. Anyway.
Why not? Like and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe. We do get politicals here.
Yes, we do.
We do talk about politics. Anyway, so we have a couple of films that we wanted to highlight, and let's do our first film. Our first film for Hispanic horror films and Hispanic Heritage Month is The Old Ways. Now, I just saw this on Netflix.
That's right.
About 2 weeks ago. I
Still
absolutely,
available.
it's still available.
On Netflix. Yeah.
I absolutely loved this film. Can you give us a little bit of a background on this film?
Sure. So this is a relatively new film. So this is a 2020 film. And it actually won the Grand Jury Award at the Florida Film Festival. So this is not just your run-of-the-mill film. It's an award-winning film. And it's actually directed by Christopher Allender. And it's about Christina, a journalist of Mexican origin, travels to her ancestral home in Veracruz to investigate a story of sorcery and healing. There, she is kidnapped by a group of locals who claim she's the devil incarnated. Of course, because that's what happens. So I think this is going to be, I have not personally seen it, but I've seen the images, and visually it's just stunning.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't wait to watch this. This is definitely going on my watch list.
Well, I watched it, you all, and it was on point. And anybody that is, yeah, right? Did she look that exactly? That was like, oh, look whose tia is that dressed like that? Because she looks like somebody, or somebody's abuelita. Yep. That's what she looks like. I loved this film so much. And the reason why I loved it so much is that they did not Americanize this film. They did not Americanize it. So what you got is you got thrown into culture. You got thrown into a mixture of Hispanic indigenous culture and the beliefs of that population. It dealt with like old demons, creatures that only have been spoken about in indigenous folklore. I so love this film. I love the acting. It does have a twist to it. I'm telling you all, it was really good. And for, it takes a lot for me to like most of the horror content that goes out today. It takes a lot because I am a horror fan, and nothing really impresses me anymore because I've seen it before. This was very good. And if you, I highly recommend it. And I'd really like to ask you all what you thought about it after you see it. But I thought it was very good.
Well, I will definitely report back next week because this looked really good. Thank you for calling it out.
Yeah.
Shall we move on to our next?
Yeah, let's move on to our next.
Let's do it. Now, the next one you may have heard of, called Cronos. Now, Cronos has a famous director that you can sort of make out in this image. Of course, Guillermo del Toro. Now, what is Guillermo del Toro famous for? Crimson Peak, The Shape of Water, Hellboy, Pan's Labyrinth, Mimic. The list goes on and on and on. So it's actually available now to watch on HBO Max. Yep. So, and it stars Ron Perlman.
Yep.
So, which is really interesting because in an interview, Ron Perlman talks about how Angel was meant to speak Spanish fluently. Angel is one of the main characters that Ron plays, and then he tried to speak Spanish, and Guillermo del Toro found his reading so completely unusable. that they changed the character. They changed the character and said that, whatever limited Spanish the character speaks, he speaks it incredibly badly. So he was supposed to speak it well, but apparently Ron Perlman didn't speak it really well. So I thought that was really interesting. It's really about a device. It's about a mysterious device designed to provide its owner with eternal life. So, and it resurfaces after 400 years, leaving a trail of destruction in its path. So we've seen similar things like a device shows up and then people play with it and bad things happen. So, but this can only be told, with one vision when you're talking about Guillermo del Toro. Like it's got to be a very unique vision that he brings to everything. Also really interesting about this is that the film went over budget. And for its time, it came out in 1993, went over budget. And Del Toro himself got the $500,000 that they needed to make the end of the movie through loans and bank debt. He went into debt. And in order to complete the film, Ron Perlman agreed to a heavy salary cut. Now, that that sort of gesture by Ron actually cemented the relationship between Perlman and Toro, and they become good friends. And they went on to do Hellboy together, a series of Hellboy movies together right after this. So that's really where the Perlman Del Toro connection began.
That's just dedication right there.
Yeah, I do want to actually to expound a little bit on that whole Hellboy situation. So when they were casting Hellboy, Guillermo del Toro wanted Ron Perlman to play Hellboy. He wanted it. And the studio thought that Ron Perlman was too old. And if there's anybody that can change their whole persona, their whole facial structure being under heavy prosthetic makeup, it is Ron Perlman.
Definitely.
And so he fought for him. He says, I'm not going to do it unless he's playing Hellboy. And Hellboy is one of my favorite films of all time. That's one of those films that you sit and you're like, and I don't know what I'm going to watch. I'll put Hellboy in. That and Blade, any of the Blade series, any of the, and Ron Perlman, of course, was in the second Blade movie too. That was directed by Guillermo del Toro. Yeah. So that I'm just a big fan of Guillermo del Toro. Let me tell you something, I would give my left eye to be in one of his films. But I tell you
and he would film you while you gave the left eye.
While I was getting my eye taken out, right? So, but my point is that it's a legacy. I love Ron Perlman too. I don't think anybody can match who he is.
I love his character pieces.
Yeah, he is an amazing actor. So I'm glad that they have this relationship because they support one another. And for him to take a pay cut means that he really believed in this film. I did see this film, and it is a strange film, but it has nothing but Guillermo del Toro. And if you're going to watch a Guillermo del Toro film, expect it to be strange. Expect it to be supernatural to some extent. Expect it to have strange creatures, So
absolutely.
he does an amazing job with this film, and it's just the whole aesthetics of the film and how the film is filmed. The cinematography is gorgeous on this film.
Kind of an interesting note before we move on to the next one. So all the original Kronos devices created for the film were actually stolen once the production was completed.
Wow.
And they were never recovered.
Wow.
So all the Kronos devices that are out there, like Del Toro has one, and they're all reproductions because they have no idea where the originals went that were used in the movie.
Can I also say that this Kronos device looks just like the device that's placed on Jill in the Resident Evil franchise?
Maybe that's where it went.
It's going from movie to movie. There you go.
That's right.
An agent, and
they went and got it.
He's going to be his own guest starring.
The device, the lamp.
All right, let's move on to our next film.
All right, so the next film is called Good Manners, and as you can see from the interesting poster, it has a certain focus on werewolves. So it's really about, it's from 2017. It's only available for rent right now. It's not streaming on any service at the moment. But it's about Clara, a lonely nurse from the outskirts of Sao Paulo, Brazil. And she's hired by a mysterious and wealthy Anna as the nanny of her unborn child. The two women develop a strong bond, but a fateful night changes her plans. So it really focuses on the lobisomem, which is a creature of mythology in South America. In Brazil, it is thought to be a werewolf who mainly attacks women. In the movie, it's a little bit mixed with another folkloric creature, the bato. That is a freshwater dolphin that transforms itself into a human and seduces women. So anyway, this is a movie about the folklores within Brazil, and really focuses on that, and I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, I haven't seen this film, but I was looking at the film when I was doing the research on it, for you to present, and I was like, what is this strangeness? What is this? It just looks so, I don't know. I don't even know what to say. Especially this picture of this little bitty baby werewolf right here.
That's right.
Yeah,
they actually all the cinematography that you see and the interesting imagery, the director found inspiration in Disney's Sleeping Beauty to use as the color pattern that he uses and the musical sequences within this movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's definitely unique.
Yeah, definitely something unique, kind of interesting because it really focuses on the Brazilian folklores.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then let's go into our last film.
Our last film, Juan of the Dead. Juan of the Dead, which is amazing. Look at this poster. This came out in 2011. It's available on Stars right now. And it's really a Spanish-Cuban zombie comedy, right? And it's written by Alejandro Brugués. And it's about a group of slackers face an army of zombies. Sounds familiar, like we've seen this before. The Cuban government and media claim the living dead are descendants revolting against the government.
And this is in the Castro era, by the way, you all. So let's look at So I love this movie. I think that it really gives you a insight on the communities that border outside of Havana and all those areas, but it's such a mixture of characters and color, and it really goes into I think a lot of times in a lot of movies when we're speaking about Cubans, we only see one face of Cuban people. We do not see the people that are still in Cuba. We don't see any people of melanin tint. We don't see anything, and this movie shows it all. It shows all kinds of characters, and it is hilarious at the same time. It's hilarious at the same time because you've got all kinds of characters in this movie. We even have a transsexual in this movie, by the way.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love
but very love. Funny. Love is love. Exactly. but they didn't make a deference about this character. This character was just part of the crew. That was the zombie killing crew. I really love this movie. I mean, I just really, really love this movie.
There's also English speaking characters in this movie.
Yeah.
And according to the director, the motive of the English speaking characters, and I don't think this is called out directly, but the motive of the English speaking characters was to steal Grandma. Now, Grandma is the yacht Fidel Castro used to sail to Cuba from exile in Mexico. So that was their sort of unspoken motive throughout the story, which I love. I love that this is so focused on Cuba and the Cuban experience, because you're right. We don't really get enough stories out of Cuba.
Mm-hmm. We don't. It's like this hidden area that nobody should go to, and you're told that it's a bad place. But in this film, you get to see it in a lot of ways. Looking at the condado and everything that you see in Cuba, because they take some shots there, it looks like La República Dominicana. It looks like the Dominican Republic, and so you can see a lot of the similarities of how people live and everything like that in countries such as that. And this is what I think I loved about it. I just grew to have an affinity for it and just a certain appreciation for this film.
All right.
One question though, before you guys move on, how I know we've all seen Shaun of the Dead. So how does is it stack up to it? Is it a similar story, or do they go in a whole different direction with it?
Well, I think that this movie was created as a result of Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And of course, that's why they have the play on the words Juan of the Dead.
Exactly, which I thought was fantastic.
Right. So I think the only similarities that they have in this is that these people are like slackers. They don't really do anything. You're just seeing them living their life, typically sitting there, hanging out, doing whatever. And then, of course, now they have to stop and thwart a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, and it's a comedy at its heart, right? So, and I just love the mix of horror and comedy. I just think that's a fantastic.
It's always fantastic,
yeah. That's the best kind of.
Shaun of the Dead is one of my favorite movies.
It is. That's why I asked the question, because I love Shaun of the Dead, and they did a fantastic job in Shaun of the Dead of holding that balance of comedy and horror.
So good.
Yeah. This is them facing on the horde of the zombies.
That completes our discussion of movies.
Yay!
And
yay.
now we're moving on to the scary part of the evening.
So you all, we are going to go into 9:15, you all, since we did start about 15 minutes late. So we do have some very quick footage for you all to look at. Oh, that's my apology. My apology, because we were having technical difficulties. But and we might have to have a part 2 of this, because we're not going to be able to show everything tonight that we're looking at, and we're going to be discussing this. But we're going to look at some really scary Ring cam footage. So as you know, everybody now pretty much has a Ring cam. One of the best things that we have ever purchased as far as security for your home. It actually was very effective the other day at my house.
Yes, it was.
So all I'm going to say is, if you don't have a Ring cam, you all need to get one. But in the same token, you get to see the things that you normally would not have seen that are standing outside of your door.
It's funny because it goes back to what we were saying, now that we're always live or we do live shows, you start to see things that you normally wouldn't see because, pre-recorded stuff is pre-recorded and sometimes you miss things. But I've actually seen where people are doing our stuff, what we do here, and you see like stuff happen in the background.
Yeah.
And, now more and more things are being caught because cameras are constantly on all over the place.
Yep, they're catching all kinds of things. Angel says he uses REO. I don't know that brand, but if that works for you, then I recommend you all get what is most effective for you as far as what you use for your outside security. So let's start with some of the cam footage that we have. So our first footage that we have here is brought to us by Dr. Fright Scare. Now, this was on the news, you all. What happened here is that these people, they were in a home, and apparently, if you don't double secure your password, anybody can hack into your footage. And this is the case with this scenario right here. This family had somebody hack into their children's Ring cam in their house. And let's just look at what happens. So we want to thank Dr. Fright Scare for this footage. Here we go.
When a young girl hears a noise in her room, she doesn't expect that it would be coming from the security camera that her parents recently installed. However, she hears a voice claiming to be Santa Claus.
Who is that? I'm your best friend. I'm Santa Claus. Don't you want to be my best friend?
The voice goes on to tell her it's okay to wreck her room and smash her television.
So I come upstairs, and I hear some banging noise. I was like, who is that?
You can mess up your room, you can break your TV, you can do whatever you want.
In the following clip,
Okay. So
I saw this in the news, actually.
yeah. So the father actually
I would have
eventually
punched that guy.
Yeah, but they couldn't find out who he was. So the father actually went in and heard the guy talking. The guy actually was talking to the dad too. It was another guy talking to the dad. And that's how they figured out. And so apparently somebody got their password and started going in and filming. And we have a lot of people that are voyeurs that are looking at kids do stuff, and it would anger you. How intrusive, how violating that could be, that you put that up there so that your child would be secure and somebody would hack in there. And the thing is, they had no idea how long this person had hacked into. So, I'm sure these girls were in various stage of undress or anything. They have no idea. This is scary. And one thing I can highly recommend you all, if you do have a Ring cam, is just don't make it a simple password. Make it be something, right now they have a feature where you have to do a double security check on your Ring cam if you change your passcode or anything like that, or if you log into it. So just make sure. But unfortunately, this is the circumstances that we have when we are faced with technology, that there's going to be somebody that's going to figure out how to manipulate it to their best advantage. Yeah. Yeah.
I remember when I saw this in the news, it just like it was disgusted me, man. I can't believe this guy went in that direction.
What it wasn't
like he was being playful.
Yeah.
No way. He was just there to scare a child. I'm angry at that guy. I just want to beat him up.
I think that he it wasn't there to scare her. I think that he was filming her because he was asking her to do particular things. And if he knew that he could get her to do that, then who knows what else he would have asked her to do.
It was like leading her into other things.
Yeah. But it was all bad behavior. All bad behavior. So yeah, disgusting.
I need a drink.
They never found out who this person was. The family just went ahead and changed their password and everything like that and just double secured everything.
I would have taken that cam out of that room.
Yeah. To me, what was most astounding is how calm the little girl was about it.
Yeah.
She was amazing. Yeah.
She was amazing because she immediately pointed it out. She didn't try to talk to anybody. There was no negativity there whatsoever. She was like, "Who are you?" And she went right to her mom, "Mommy," and went in there and said it. She was very mature about it. So let's go into our next footage. This, I have so many things to say about this one.
Well, don't say it until we watch it.
If there are any children watching this, I want to give you time to get them out of the room.
She's in the back, so
yeah. Okay, so let me just put this one on. This is so many things. Okay, here we go. We want to thank KOU 11 for actually capturing this on film. This went to the news, so this was on news coverage, and yeah, this is a whole lot of things. So let's watch this footage right now. Now, this guy did this for a good 25 minutes, 25 to 45 minutes. Can you all believe this? Okay, so I'm going to stop it.
Like, how is he not electrocuting himself?
There's nothing there. There's nothing there for you. All he's licking is there's like a little button there, like a little ring that you can, it's like a doorbell.
This is why we have a problem with coronavirus right here.
Yeah.
I don't think he was thinking about coronavirus.
I don't think so either. And what's messed up is he can get something from that too. So
yeah, but I don't think that's what he was thinking about, you all.
It didn't look like it.
No.
So just to let you all know that there was a female that lived in that house. And
it's funny that you say that because I figure I should be here like surprised, but no, this is the kind of stuff guys do.
I'm physically ill. Like I'm just ill.
Well, guys, the guy is.
Oh my God, Leslie, there's been times where I've had to stop guys from doing a plethora of things, and I'm always the guy who they call cock blocker or whatever because I'm usually defending or trying to stop this kind of type of actions. But they guys can be really messed up.
Okay.
Wow.
Whoever those creep boys are,
they're not allowed on the Tingling tea. That is for sure.
Oh, don't worry. Like all of the time, I've gotten rid of all of them. So
the guy was mentally ill. Yes, you are absolutely right. He was mentally ill.
He did look like it.
And so the thing is that what he did was his attraction to this woman. I guess he was trying to show her something, as a result of licking that thing. But it was just it was insane. And they found out who he was. He was somebody that lived down the street, but yeah, unbelievable. So, but this is the thing. These are things that you would not, first of all, him approaching that and stuff like that. Who knows what would have happened if she had just gone out and didn't have any type of security, what he would have done to her.
Yeah.
So just this display,
right.
This display was enough for him to get arrested and, for them, but they put it on the news. I
certainly hope so.
Yeah, they put it on the news because they were trying to find out who he was. All right, let's look at this next footage right here. I don't remember what this footage is, but I'm going to, because there were so many creepy things. We want to thank Chilling Scares for this particular footage. Let's go there right now.
It's surprise footage.
We're all going to be surprised.
We are.
All right, here we go. I hope this is the right. Yeah, chilling scares. Here we go.
This video captured a woman frantically knocking on this house's front door. As she continues to do so, she can be seen constantly looking behind her. And that's when you realize why. A man walks up to the woman and proceeds to grab her firmly, telling her to get into the car. All the while, the woman can be heard pleading for him to stop.
Wow.
Stop, please, no. No, please.
The man in the video was later identified to be 20-year-old Victor Kucic, and he would ultimately be charged with third-degree felony kidnapping.
Wow.
Now, if that woman had
Horrifying.
approached your ring cam at night, most of us are so afraid to open up our door to somebody in need because people scam you. That's a way that they gain entry, you know. But in this case, it was a true situation, you know, and I don't know if they were watching, if the person, the owner of the ring cam, was actually watching this whole thing go down and didn't call the police, or they did call the police. We really don't know because the guy was captured. So maybe the individual called the police.
Well, thank God the guy was captured.
Yeah.
It's amazing that they were able to capture him. Obviously, it must have been through more than just that because he couldn't see the person.
It almost looked like he saw the camera and then because he ducked out of the way.
Oh yeah,
he came the other way. Yeah.
People are very astute about that. They know that the camera is going to capture you. I've looked at several ring cam footage of people who are stealing packages off of people's doorways, and they just back up to the camera so that nobody sees their face. Some have even gone to the extent of actually wearing a mask so nobody sees their face.
Wow.
Yeah, because they know that it exists. All right, let's look at this particular footage.
This is so disturbing. While you're pulling that up,
I wouldn't show anything less.
Wow.
I had my neighbor has a ring cam, and she has a ring cam on her garage, and she was away, and I was looking after the house, and she sent me a video saying, "Did this person come to your house too?" And this is in a place where nobody really walks. There's not a sidewalk or anything like that. Nobody really walks. And there was someone in a yellow hoodie that walked all the way down her driveway, which is totally private, all the way down her driveway to her front door, hung out at her front door, turned around and walked all the way back. And this is right next to our house.
Whoa.
We did not see him, but you can see him very clearly on her footage. I have it on my phone. I can forward that to you if you want.
Yeah, we have to watch that. We have to look at that. We definitely have to look at that. Totally. And you are so right. Remember when you lived in the neighborhood and everybody was watching your house?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he's saying like the old abuela who didn't have anything to do, be looking at outside your
right
house.
In that window, she
right
saw
in the curtain.
What happened. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That is so true. I mean, we don't have that anymore. That whole structure of community and village does not exist.
I have Richard. Richard is like a total abuela that just sits there and like is all in everybody's business and gives me all the like, oh, this person went out at this time and then they came back and they had their groceries and I was like, I don't care.
Well, anyway. I guess in that case, Richard is very useful when it comes to that because he's seeing everything. He's seeing everything. That's hilarious to me. But that does not even surprise me about Richard. That doesn't surprise me. All right, let's look at this footage right here. This footage right here was brought to us by, let's see. This is Mr. Nightmare. And he brought this particular footage. So let's just take a look at this footage.
Mr. Nightmare.
These are two clips that were likely taken back during the entire clown epidemic.
Wait a minute.
In this first clip, we see someone dressed as a clown wielding a small sword, lurking around by the front door for a bit and running off after ringing the doorbell.
That's a machete.
Similarly, in this next clip, someone dressed as a clown can be seen standing in the distance, looking at the front door. After a while, he approaches the door, seems to stare into the doorbell camera for a few seconds, and walks away. Whether these were pranks meant to scare the homeowners or not, most people wouldn't want to open their doors to these two.
So then that's the thing. If your friends are scaring you like that, you need to kick their behinds.
You do, because that is not funny.
That's not
No,
funny.
not at all.
But people have the ability to do that now. People just go and, whatever. They can do that because they have
that
access.
ability. They have that ability until you open the door and kick the shit out of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Then they won't have that ability anymore.
Yeah,
you remember that? There was clowns everywhere. They were popping up all over the place.
Well, that
it
was
so weird.
Yeah,
That was weird.
There were a lot of clowns, coming out of the woodwork. Then now we've got two more. Do you all want to watch the last two? I mean, because we're
sure.
almost
Do
at the
it.
top of the hour.
Go for it.
Okay, let's look at this one. All right, this one is brought to us by Disturban.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's exactly how people get shot, by coming out and doing stuff like that. Because if you have the right to carry a gun like you do in Missouri, you really are messing with a lot of stuff here by doing stuff like that.
You're gonna come out to my doorstep with a machete? Wait till you see what I bring.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That machete won't help.
Okay, so let's watch this one. I hope this is the right one.
Let's just play videos and see what happens.
No, I've got these all mocked up for us. Come on now. I did work on this.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
A girl was walking outside to do some laundry when she hears a strange voice asking her for help. Now, at first I thought this could be the Ring speaker, as it is possible to hack into and speak through. However, the girl heard the voices coming from outside directly behind her, not coming from the Ring device speakers. She turns and looks in the direction she hears it from, but there's nothing there but a wall. The girl was obviously so spooked that she had to call the police, which gives it some credibility, and I do find this video to be quite haunting.
I looked around, I didn't see anybody out on the road or any cars or anything. So I went back to my Ring video to make sure I wasn't just creatively hearing something.
I can hear somebody saying something, but I can't.
Well, I posted it on there.
Wow.
There seems to be a lot of people have actually captured ghosts on their Ring cameras, and I don't have our ghost footage tonight because I did come across a lot of things, because some of the stuff that I brought to us was a little bit more disturbing to me than just actually capturing a ghost. But that's what people believe that it was some kind of a poltergeist or a voice going through the Ring. It could have been also the case of somebody hacking in and just playing a prank.
Well, two interesting things. The first is they mentioned, well, the guy doing the voiceover mentioned that the voice was not coming from the speaker of the Ring. It was coming from a wall sort of area, which is so interesting. And second, how does she know? How does she and I have the same wardrobe whenever we do laundry? I wear exactly the same thing. Like, I feel like we have this weird bond.
Well, when you start having voices coming out of your wall, you let me know, okay?
All right, I'll do that. But
I actually
All right.
saw
Don't
this
disturb me.
caught on camera because it's a show they have on the Travel Channel,
Mhm.
and one of the speakers on there is our pal Brian, and you know they were like going over this, and you know they have professionals who try to figure out what's going on and where the voice is coming from, and you know it was just creepy that it was coming from a whole other section, and you can see that she doesn't look at the camera, she looks away towards where she's hearing the voice.
Yeah.
It's really
Very, very creepy. So
It
I
ends
mean,
and ends with the skeptical police officer. It's just like the beginning of a horror movie.
yeah. Well, I hear them saying something, you know.
Crazy girl.
I have to tell you that, like we said before, there's a lot of things that are being captured because of all the camera footage that we have, and this is just one of them. You're picking up all kinds of things. What makes us think that we can't pick up an EVP? There is a microphone attached to that as well. So very disturbing. This last one, you all, before we end the night, wow. And I saved the best for last. So this just recently happened. And before I show this, you know, I have to always preface it with something. Now, I'm someone who believes that people who are high on drugs, crack, and stuff like that, that it opens up a realm or a place in their minds that they're able to see into different realms that we're not able to see. And there are several incidences where I have seen video footage or actually experienced it seeing other people here in my neighborhood fighting creatures that are not there, screaming for help and running from creatures that are not there. I don't know if I told you this, and I might have told one of you all, that my husband actually captured a woman one day standing outside the church that we have down the street, hanging on the gates of the church, screaming, "Please let me in. I'm sorry. They're coming after me." And she was high on crack. She goes, "I'm sorry." She wasn't saying I'm sorry to anybody else. She went to the church. She was saying I'm sorry to God. She was like trying to get into, I guess maybe she thought those were the pearly gates, but whatever the case, she was screaming. And so I really do believe that their crack, the way that it attaches to the chemicals in your brain, it has something, it opens up something. So this particular person that we're about to watch right now, I believe that it opens you up to certain influences, demonic influences. And this is what I believe to be the case here in this last footage that we're going to show. And then let's talk about it quickly afterwards, because I want you all to hear the conversation he is having with himself. Let's show that footage.
On July 21st, 2021, Amanda Nowak updated her Facebook with an incredibly disturbing video pulled from her Ring doorbell. As she was settling in for a night home alone, someone rang her doorbell. She checked the app only to see a man with grey hair and a grey full-grown beard who was persistently knocking on her door and ringing the bell. Amanda didn't recognize this man, so she ignored the knocking, but the stranger didn't leave.
Are you sure? I just rang your doorbell because I have a couple questions for you. Are you sure? I just rang your doorbell because I have a couple questions for you. Are you sure? What? Are you sure? I just rang your doorbell because I have a couple questions for you. Are you sure? Are you positive? Are you?
Listen, I want to pause this because they bleeped out the subject matter here. What they bleeped out, you all, is what he's saying in between asking it, "Are you sure?" He's saying to her, "I just want to come in here and rape you and then kill you." That's what he's saying. So they bleeped it out because of the monetization on YouTube. But We don't have to bleep it out here. I'm telling you all that's what he said. And if you get a chance, I want you all to go and find the original footage for this so you can hear it for yourselves. Let's continue it.
Sure. I just have a couple questions for you. Are you sure? Are you positive? I just have a couple questions for you. Are you sure? Are you positive? Are you sure? Are you absolutely certain?
As well as knocking, he kept repeating he wanted to talk to her. He had questions for her. Since she was home alone, she called her husband to tell him what was happening, and then she called 911. So Amanda's husband accessed the camera from his phone and saw the man too. Ignoring him wasn't doing the trick, so he decided to talk to him using the speaker. And this is what happened.
So who are you?
What? Yeah? Are you sure?
Who are you?
Hey, I just had a couple questions. I just wanted to ask you about the TV show. Yeah, can you hear me? What I'm looking for is for the girl that's in the house to come out here because I'm going to rape her. And do you have her open the door? I'm going to rape and kill the girl that's on the other side of this door when she lets me in. I want to rape her and kill her because I have a knife and a gun. Yeah, and I'm going to knock on her door again. All right.
After threatening the woman in a stone-cold tone, he's gone. He doesn't even seem scared off. He just leaves. As the man calmly walks away, he continues to talk to himself all the way down the street. Amanda was terrified, but she was also afraid that this man could move on to another house and actually end up hurting someone. So she took the creepy footage and posted it to her Facebook. And it was actually thanks to this Facebook post that the man was arrested. A neighbor from the area recognized him from Amanda's Facebook post and called the police, who have not revealed his identity publicly.
So
that's crazy.
Yes. Now,
wow.
Crazy is not a word. Wow.
So now, yeah, exactly. It's a whoa. Now, he was talking to someone. He was talking to someone.
Are you sure?
Not only was he kept saying, "Are you sure?" He was talking to somebody. Stop it. Listen, the thing that was really creepy to me is the conversation that he had when he was walking on the sidewalk. He knew the police were coming. And the police weren't, nobody called the police. He didn't know anybody called the police. He says to whatever entity he was having an exchange with, they're on their way right now. We've got to go. They're on their way right now.
The scariest part for me was when he started to talk to the husband about raping and killing her.
Mm-hmm.
And he was doing it in such a how about it kind of way, you know what I mean? Like it was
so
nonchalant. And then he was saying, the woman that's on the other side of this door, I have a knife and a gun, and I'm like,
how did he know that she was home alone? Apparently, from what I understood when I did the research, is he had gone to, I don't know, the liquor store or gone down to the street or whatever. How did he know that woman was in her house by herself? He had not been watching her.
That's how he reacts. He reacts like, he knows exactly what's going on. He knows she's home alone. Mm-hmm. And it even feels like he knows that whoever's talking to him right now is not in the house.
Right. And he also, how did he know that? By some supernatural knowledge, he knew that this woman was at home by herself.
Wow. Thank God she did not open the door. Thank God for Ring. My God.
Thank God for Ring. Who would open the door? Who would? And nowadays you just don't. If you don't know anybody outside your ring, that's what you have the ring for. You talk to them through the ring.
Mm-hmm. Is that what you're gonna do when I come visit you at your house? You're gonna talk to me through the ring?
If you ask me if I'm sure.
You know he would. He probably just show up
You'll
just to
show
say
yourself
that.
outside. That's where you're gonna be.
He probably just show up just to be like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah, you're gonna be out there with everybody else that says it too. Outside my door.
I brought some muffins. Are you sure you're not opening the door?
Are you sure? Yep. Yep. So that's it, you all. That's our footage that we have this evening. I hope that I did my duty in creeping you all out, which is what I love to do.
That was a special kind of freak out. That was a special kind of
this is more like, I was expecting some nice ghosts. I can handle them. This is like that creepy stuff where people are actually doing stuff.
That's in my catchphrase. It's in my catchphrase. So that means you got some creepy footage. So thank you, Ralph, for so much for being on the show with us this evening. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you. And like I told everybody, he's going to be with me and co-hosting on the 28th while Eddie is away, while Auggie Eddie is away. And thank you, audience members. Thank you, Angel, for putting in comments and actually watching the show all the way through. I'm glad you are a fan of the show. I appreciate you. And with that being said, we will be back next Thursday. And yeah, exactly. Because now these days you have to worry about the living. So we'll be back next Thursday at 7:30 p.m. You all, not 8 o'clock, 7:30 p.m. It's going to be our new time up until the end of the year. We want to tell you all to please like, subscribe, follow us on Facebook, on Twitch, on
Instagram.
YouTube and Instagram and all of those things. And how about you, Ralph? Where can we find you?
That's easy. You just look up the Bitten Apple TV and you will find us all over the place, whether it be Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. It's all the Bitten Apple. And of course, I am the Written Writ. And of course, you can find me at the Written Writ or Written Writ Ralph. Either way, you'll find your way to the Written Writ.
Yep. And where you and I can go on a journey
to become better writers.
That's right. That's right. I also tell you all to subscribe, like, and follow the Bitten Apple TV. We have some really wonderful content there. Some footage of Comic-Con, pictures of Comic-Con this year, 2021 here in New York City. And then go back and look at some of our past episodes of cons that we were able to attend before COVID. Just kind of get yourself into the field so that you can be prepared when things are all over, when we were able to go back into a more a non-virtual setting. With that being said, good night, you all. Thank you for hanging out with us this evening. We appreciate you, our audience members, and we will see you soon. What's my catchphrase at the end of the evening? We want you to stay spooky.
Stay spooky.
Stay spooky, people.
Bye-bye. Take care.